in Melbourne?
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's really good to see you again. You were asking a question about Bhikkhu Buddhadasa's, or about what books to read, and I recommend Bhikkhu Buddhadāsa. All you have to do is just click on Google and type in Buddhadāsa, and from there
Yep.
you can just scroll down and find stuff there. Um, and we had gotten off into the question of one of the books he wrote was Dhammic Socialism,
Yes.
which basically has to do with the not actually promoting or recommending that you turn the entire society into a big commune or communistic thing,
Yep.
but rather that the people who are looking for a way out of the drudgeries of their life that they find in the capitalistic society is to pull away and find friends who are mutually agreeable for sharing rather than for exploitation.
Yes.
And so this is what a Wat is all about, and they're all over Thailand. I mean, the CIA who came to investigate Bhikkhu Buddhadāsa could have walked into any Wat in Thailand and gotten the same information.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that in the Wats in Thailand, as well as even the Wats that are in Australia and in the US or UK or whatnot like that, every monk is more or less a guest there in the Wat.
Okay.
That the lay people who support the Wat and live around the Wat will have a board of directors or a group of deacons or whatever like that do most of the business of the Wat, so that the monks can stay with the Dhamma completely.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, there's a little bit more to it than that, and that is that generally this board of deacons, while it may be all the old men who were once monks and are hanging out at the Wat all day anyway,
Yeah.
generally the decisions that are made about what happens to the Wat are made by the wives of these old men, who give
Right.
them the marching orders to go do what the wives tell them to do at the Wat, because
Yeah.
because this is a matriarchal society.
Yeah. Okay.
And the way that it got a matriarchal society was because of so many men had been monks and gotten great value out of it. And so when they come back to the lay life, they follow the teachings of the Buddha. And there's actually one sutta that I know of in particular is, I think it's number 21, the Dingha Nikaya, where he gives advice to laymen. And one of the 5 advices that he gives to laymen is to let the wife run the show, run the family business, run the household,
Yeah. Okay.
and give her that uh, job because she wants it anyway. I
Yep.
mean, women really do want to run their household.
Yep.
And when I began to understand that, I hearkened back to the time that I was in India around Muktananda. There was a very famous little joke book. It's a Muslim book, but it's the name of it is Mullah Nasruddin,
Yep.
and it's little stories. And so one of the stories in the book is a crowd of old men come to Mullah Nasruddin and says, "Well, what do you do all day? What do you spend your time with?" And he says, "Well, I only spend my time with important things and let my wife take care of all the unimportant things." And
Yeah.
they said, "Oh, well, what does your wife do then?" And he says, "Well, she takes care of the house, she buys the furniture, she tells me what clothing to wear, what school the kids go to, what car we have, and she just does all that business kind of stuff."
Yep.
And they say, "Well, what do you do?" And he says, "Well, I only do important things." And they said, "Well, what is that?" And he says, "Well, I contemplate what's the nature of reality and
Yeah.
how good can I feel? And what is the nature of God?" In other words, he lives his life the way that a monk would, whether he's married or not.
Yep.
And so this is one of the things that I teach uh, my friends, or tell them about this, so that you can get a kind of a new idea about how to relate with your family,
Yes.
so that it becomes really harmonious.
Yes. Yes.
Most of the, let us say, almost all the divorces and most of the arguments that a man and a wife will have will be because they're disagreeing over something.
Yep.
But if the guy will, in fact, drop his position, drop his demands, and give all of that duty to the wife, she will wind up consulting him, and he winds up being the boss anyway.
Yep.
The
Yeah.
best, because this is not a matriarchal society.
Yeah. Ah, that's really good advice. Yeah. Yeah. What they say, happy wife, happy life.
Yes, exactly
Yeah.
so. And
Yeah.
the only way to keep a happy wife is by letting her get what she wants and do the way that she wants to do. And if you
Yep.
don't like something that she does, you can tease her about it,
Yep. Yep.
as opposed to argue her.
Yes. Yeah, that's a better way.
Okay. Well,
Mm.
this actually, if you think about it, fits in exactly with that quality of Sangha that we had started talking about before.
Mhm.
And that is that we're going to begin to change our life from being a competitive worker who has to do what he's told to do in order to get the rewards from working. What we're going to learn to do is to take our rewards from life right now when we think about it.
Yep. Yes.
That our society teach
Mm.
us delayed gratification.
Yep.
Poke that barge, lift that pail, and if you don't do what you're told, you'll land in jail. I mean, this is the way that we've been taught.
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't get punished if we don't do what we're supposed to do, but we're not going to get the reward for what we do until later.
Yes.
So the first grader has to learn his ABCs. Why, mommy, do I have to learn the ABCs? So you can learn to read. Why do I want to learn to read? So you can get out of first grade and into second grade. Why do I want to go to second grade? So that you can get into middle school. Why? Because you can get into high school. Why? Because you can get into college. Why? Because then you can get a job. Why? Because now you can buy a house.
Yep.
And
Yep.
people, but none of those are actually a reward. It's just the next level of work to do.
Yep. Yes.
But in fact, there's a book that was made the bestseller list back in the late 1960s, and the name of the book is The Peter Principle. And
Okay.
in that book, what it talked about is that people will be promoted up until they are promoted into a job that they are incompetent at, and that's where they will remain.
Right.
That if one gets promoted to their level of incompetence,
Ah, really?
okay?
Ah.
And so we're
Hmm.
striving to get that next job and that next job until we arrive at a job that we can't do, and now we're frustrated.
Yep. Yes.
And that's our life into capitalistic society.
Mm. Yep. That's really interesting. Yeah.
And so what the real teaching of the Buddha is to learn that we don't have to plan on having a good day or having a good moment. We
Mhm.
can just have a good day,
Yes.
have a good moment, if we can remember to do that. But we've been trained to get into the game of up, two, three, four, go do what you were told to do. We don't care whether you like it or not, just perform.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. And in that regard, it's almost like that we're slaves or we're servants, except now we don't have a ball or chain, we don't have a taskmaster with shotguns, but we do have a paycheck. We are
Yep.
prisoners often to the paycheck.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And so we have a whole vocabulary for employment, and
Right.
that is work, job, hard labor. Labor.
Yeah. Yeah.
These words that we use, why is that? Because nobody likes that.
Yes.
Okay. But employment I used, it means that you're actually just doing something.
Hmm. Yeah.
Deploy or employ means that you're actually doing something, and that word is kind of neutral.
Yep.
But there's another way of looking at it, and that is that we make our daily activities into a play, and that the work that we're doing is just a toy.
Yeah. Yep.
It's just a toy to play with. And so that means
Mm.
that what we used to think was a work or a job now becomes our entertainment.
Yes. You spoke about this a little bit, I think maybe with Alex or in one of the videos I'd watched, and I really connected with that idea of making, even the hindrances or the things that come up as toys, as playthings, as almost like a game or something. I guess I don't know if that's the right word, but yeah, rather than it being a heavy thing or a disappointment or I've mucked up or whatever it is, it's an opportunity and the mindset to be more like more like one of a game. Yeah.
Yes, in fact, there's a whole point about the word game. There's two
Yep.
kinds of games. One game is when you are, let us say, scoring.
Yes.
Okay. And then the other kind of game is keeping score.
Yep.
Okay. An example of that would be Donald Trump. When he's playing golf, but he doesn't play golf, he keeps score.
Right. Yep.
That's why he cheats, is because the score is more important than the game.
And the game. Yeah. Yep.
Uh,
Yep.
and so there's an old story that I knew from childhood that had some value, but it's got more value now that I really understand it. And that is that it doesn't matter whether you win or lose, it's how you play the game.
Yes. Yeah.
So even if you win the game because you're a big bully and you're angry and you're a tough dude and you get your way, even though you won that game, the way you played it was not useful, valuable, or wholesome to you or anyone else.
Yep. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And so this is also why we're looking at the idea of being a team player.
Mm.
And I like that word team player because play
Yeah. Yep.
as opposed to a team worker. I would rather be a team player to just play on a team,
Yep.
but not keeping score. And
Yep.
in a way, that's what a paycheck is. That's the scorekeeping,
Yep.
where the actual job itself is the scoring. And so we're
Yes.
going to actually enjoy the scoring, but not worry about keeping score,
Yeah. Yeah. That's a perfect
because
way to.
that's working with the past, trying to build up something, and
Yep.
it's almost always artificial,
Yep.
uh, where we're getting actually more value out of scoring in this moment.
Yes. Yes.
And so we can say then that Anapanasati is a way now of, in this moment, to remember to look at what you're doing, to change your mind out of wholesome, out of unwholesome into wholesome, and that's a score. We just
Yes.
score.
Yep.
But many students want to talk about their meditation experiences.
Yes.
When they do that, now they're keeping score.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
And pretty soon,
Mm.
eventually, the students will learn, oh, it's how I'm scoring right now, not
Yep.
the scores that I made last time. And I'm trying to now score what I scored before, rather
Yep.
than allowing this score to be what we're scoring. We
Yeah.
want to score something that's from the past.
Yes.
Over.
Yes. That's I guess that's one of the things that I've noticed in my my when I'm sitting these last few weeks is that going more to the point of that delayed gratification, that moment when you do catch something and then you come back to your breath, you come back to that moment or the present moment and just being here, sitting, whatever is going on with the breath, there is a real fulfillment in that moment without it having to be about anything, or, you know, the gratification is just there if you you know, don't let all those other things crowd it out, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's yeah.
So this is basically what is the Eightfold Noble Path.
Yep.
Is it starts with right view.
Yep.
And right view in this case is a verb.
Yes.
But most people think of view, like a viewpoint or a worldview, as a noun.
Yep.
And so you could say then that in the Dhamma, actually I work a lot with a few sutras, and one of them that I work with a lot is number 117 in the Majjhima Nikaya, where it talks about right view as opposed to wrong view, ordinary view, and noble right view.
Yep.
To where wrong view is defined as there's no mom, there's no dad, there's no heavens, no hells, there's, you know, and basically no karma machine.
Yep.
Or no results from bad actions in the past. Or another way of saying it that I will paraphrase it in modern street English was people who hold wrong view hold the attitude, I can get away with it.
Yep. Sure. Yeah.
Or we can make the changes here and it won't cost anything.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And that ordinary right view then would take the opposite of that, which means, oh no, you can't get away with it. We're going to hire cops. We're going to get an army. We're going to get teachers. We're going to get all kinds of people to make sure that you don't get away with it.
Mm-hmm.
And if that doesn't work, then we're going to hire a priest.
Yep. Yeah. Can't get away with it when you die.
Yeah, you're not even going to get away with it then. Okay, so this
Yeah.
is the attitude. So you can see that, in fact, the wrong attitude, we can get away with it, is progressive.
Mm.
And no, you can't get away with it, is conservative.
Yep.
We're trying to keep the things the way that they are, and the others are trying to grab to get my part.
Yep. Yep.
And then we can counterposition that with noble right view, which is actually not a viewpoint, but it's an investigation. Here it's a verb, not a noun.
Yep.
So right noble viewing, that's what we're actually practicing in Anapanasati. And yet many people will take on the position of that, oh, the Dhamma is a view, it's a viewpoint.
Right. Yeah. Yep.
But rather it's not a viewpoint, it's a way of looking.
Yes. Yes.
To look at things the way that they actually are.
Yep.
And we do that with discernment.
Mm-hmm.
But when do we want to look? And the answer to that is anytime that you remember, that's the time to do the investigation.
Yep.
And that what we are going to investigate is not what normal people would think to investigate is whatever is there is to be investigated. The answer to that is no, it's not what's there, it's what's there.
Yes.
That's what needs to be investigated, is what's going on the inside, not what's going on the outside.
Yes. Yeah.
And so this is what gives rise to the satipatthana of the body, the feelings, the mind, and what the mind is doing.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So this is the basis of the practice of the satipatthana. But the Buddha understood that these four foundations of mindfulness was old. He didn't invent this.
Yep.
That in fact, even in Greece, they have these four elements in ancient Greece. So it was worldwide at the time. He certainly didn't do it. Everybody already knew that there was solids, liquids, gas, and burning or fire.
Yep.
Earth, wind, fire, and water. Those are the four elements. Well, guess what? We have all those elements right inside. We don't have to go out for a fire. There's fire inside.
Yep. Yep.
So this is where the practice goes, is to remember to look in rather than to look out.
Yes. Yes.
If we're looking in, then we can look at and see the thoughts. We can see the feelings. We can see the way that the body is operating. And in fact, we want to make sure that we continue to remember to look and to continue to look, because that will give us discernment. And the discernment or the discrimination is this moment worth doing this way?
Yep. Yeah.
Is this moment wholesome?
Yes.
And the answer to that often is no, it's not wholesome.
Yeah.
Because the thoughts are not wholesome.
Yep.
Wanting something that we don't have is being disappointed or being unsatisfied.
Yep.
So anytime that we find ourselves dissatisfied because of the way that we're thinking or the way that we're feeling or the way the body is sitting or whatever, then let's make a change.
Yes.
So the whole idea about the teaching of the Buddha is this idea of right effort, to take the right effort, to make the right kind of change, to stop what we're doing that is causing the dissatisfaction.
Yep. Yeah.
And that's not a long-term goal, but it's something we do right here, right now.
Yep. Yeah.
A lot of people think that Buddhism has to do with attainment of something. You have to work really hard and then you get it. That's another delayed gratification.
Yeah. Yep.
And the real teaching is that no, you can have that relief right now. You can have that reward right now. All you have to do is remember to see what's going on and to change your mind into something more wholesome.
Yes.
And then to be satisfied with that.
Yep.
And that's a tricky one, because students will say, oh, I'm satisfied. I'm just not satisfied enough.
Yeah.
Well, not satisfied enough is not satisfied.
That's not satisfied. No. Yeah. Yeah.
And they also say it in the sense of, well, I've got joy, but there's not enough joy. Well, if there's not enough joy, then this joy is discounted. It's no good. It's not joy.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And so that's the way of beginning to say is that all air how small the satisfaction is, I'll be satisfied with that right now, because we're trying to grow it as a seed.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
And it's valuable for us to be around other people who continue to think like that, to remind each other.
Yes.
Because that's what it's all about, is to remember, to remind ourselves to look at what we're doing right now and come out of what we're doing right now and come into something a little bit better than that right now.
Yeah.
And be satisfied with that little bit of improvement.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's such a clear, very clear in the moment thing. Especially, just perhaps getting little tastes of that here and there, and just seeing the dissatisfaction and seeing how just coming to what's here now. It's that things are fine, things are good, things can be there can be joy in the body, or it could so many things.
That's
just
right. And the easy way to find the joy in the body is by taking a deep breath.
Absolutely.
This is why long, deep breathing is actually recommended in the Ānāpānasati Sutta.
Yep.
That in fact it was discussed for a long time in Thailand over the suttas and whatnot. And we're talking about a Buddhist culture. We're not talking about a few guys in a city that are looking at something strange. This is the whole culture is deeply involved with Buddhism. Many,
Yep.
many thousands and thousands of Dhamma scholars.
Yes.
And the question that Bhikkhu Buddhadāsa raised was by making the statement that the Buddha only taught one kind of meditation. He
Mm-hmm.
only taught one practice, and that
Yep.
practice was ānāpānasati,
Yep.
a breathing meditation. And so they looked and they discussed and they collaborated, and because in later literature they wind up with 40 kinds of meditations.
Yeah, I've heard that.
All right.
Yeah.
And the 40 kinds of meditations are broken down into various groups. One is the metta group, and it's got 4.
Yep.
And then another group would be the charnel ground meditations, and there's 10 in that group.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, what we're talking about with the charnel ground meditations, we don't actually need to go to the charnel ground. Now, charnel ground is in the old days, it was like the city dump.
Yep.
Combination with a cemetery.
Right. Yep.
Where they just dumped the bodies. And so
Yes.
there were, mendicants and rishis and monks would go to the cemetery and watch the bodies rot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's how bad their television was. Talking about Australian
Yeah, that's right.
When you'd prefer to go watch a body rot, which
That's
is
right.
about the same thing as watching paint dry or watching grass grow.
Oh.
And so bodies rot over a period of time. They're livid, and then they're bloated, and then they're pussy, and then they're wormy, and then the muscles start to disappear, and then the sinew is left, and then nothing but a skeleton, and then the skeleton breaks up. And
Mm-hmm.
all of those are called different meditations, or in fact, no, you've just got one corpse.
Yep. Yep.
And
Yeah.
if you're careful to look, you can see that each one of us goes through those various stages within our own body when we're still alive.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when we get a cut, it get, pussy and all of that kind of stuff. And so basically we don't really need all of those kinds of things. That those were practices that were predated the Buddha.
Yep.
And that the Buddha himself was experimenting and looking for that kind of stuff. He already had the right wisdom. He was just looking for ways to spreading it around so that people could get the point.
Mm-hmm.
And so what he eventually came to was this idea of the Anapanasati, of just looking at what the body is doing as a place to start.
Yep.
And that we want to remember to keep doing the deep breathing. Now, here's an important point about that, and that is that most people don't pay any attention to the breath at all.
Yeah.
It's almost like granted or given or whatever. There's nothing to it.
Yes.
But the reality is that your breath is keeping you alive. I mean, you can go for 30 days or more without food. You can go a week or so without water. You can go for your whole life without sex. There's a whole lot of stuff you can do without, and you'll be
Yep.
okay.
Yep.
But if you don't take the next breath, you're going to be dead in 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
That's life-giving. The breath is our life.
Mm.
And the air that we breathe is from our immediate surroundings. And so we have a relationship with our surroundings that we're breathing in and out, and that keeps us alive.
Yes.
And so if we begin to pay attention to that, we begin to appreciate it, to really begin to understand that, wow, this breath is going to keep me alive. I might as well enjoy it.
Yep. Yeah.
And so we learn to investigate it. One of the ways is by taking a deep breath through the nostrils. It's better to clean the nostrils. You go ahead and
Mm-hmm.
pull it in, swallow that phlegm.
Mm-hmm.
Then the next breath you take, that whole area inside the nostril area, it's like a cavern, a set of caves.
Yeah.
And the job of that area is to warm the air and to purify it and to clean it. That's why snot will get dark colored, is because of the pollution that doesn't get into the lungs. If we breathe
Yeah.
with our mouth, then the air that gets in the lungs is cold as well as dirty.
Yep.
But if
Yep.
we will breathe through the nose, it's much better. Now, when I'm talking about that breathing in through the nose, breathing out, it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But breathing in through the nose is a good thing, and paying attention to what the body is doing during that in-breath, so
Yep.
that you can feel what is here and feel when it's in the neck and around, and go into the chest and see the body moving in and moving out. And that brings a sense of gratitude for being alive. Yeah, we're still alive.
Yeah.
And if there's anything that's precious to any human being, it's the fact that he's still alive. That's why we have capital punishment, is to deprive someone of their most important
Yep.
thing to them, is one's own life.
Yes.
And yet we go through our life not appreciating it.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
And so to remember to appreciate this present moment, we're still alive. We can take that deep breath. Wow, I'm still alive. It's so great. So no matter what's happened in the past, no matter what problems or what wrongdoing that we had, it wasn't enough to kill us. We're
Yes.
still alive. We
Yep.
survived. We
Yep.
made it.
Still here.
That's worthy of a congratulations.
Yeah.
I'm still alive.
Yep.
Okay. And yet here we are, mulling over the past, worried about the past, trying to fix the past by planning for the future.
Mm-hmm.
An example of that is having an argument with Aunt Susie, and then I go away and I still have that argument with Aunt Susie, and I'm planning on what I'm going to tell her next.
Yep.
But I don't know what she's going to say. And so when she answers what I'm going to say, when she actually gives me the answer, I have to go away defeated again. And now I have to think of something else to tell her.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
But the fact is that I don't have to dwell on the past. I don't have to think about that.
Yeah.
That I can be free from Aunt Susie, so that when I see Aunt Susie next time, I can see her anew, not
Yes.
through the filter of the old argument that I had with her.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so this is what we mean by the cleaning out of getting the past out, all the past stuff, the garbage, taking out the trash
Yeah.
and cleaning the mind to be here in the moment. So
Yeah.
it's like we take that deep inhale to bring in and clean out the nostrils. We can do that with the mind.
Yeah.
Just
Yes.
throw that
Yeah.
stuff out, and this is one's right um, action or right effort.
Yeah.
The right effort is to drop the past, which is actually quite easy to do. A lot of people think that, oh, it's really hard because those thoughts keep coming back and keep coming
Mm-hmm.
back, keep coming back. The answer to that is yes, and that just gives you an opportunity to practice the skill of throwing it back out again.
Yeah. Yep. That's right. That was the thing that I really enjoyed about the game analogy was that, that's, if you want to learn how to shoot hoops or something really, really well, you're not just going to do one time and then you're Michael Jordan. It's repetitive practice over and over and over again, doing
Yes.
those things. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we have been practicing over and over and over again our whole lives to talk ourselves into feeling
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
Now it's time for us to start talking ourselves into feeling good by having wholesome thoughts about this present moment.
Yes.
Wow, this was so good. And I don't have to go anyplace. I could just sit here and relax.
Yes.
Nowhere to go and nothing to do. And the spring comes and the grass grows by itself and everything is okay and everything is fine.
Yep.
These are the kind of words that we want to use. And then you can find others that are
Mm.
very wholesome for you.
Yeah.
Like, wow, what a wonderful day this is.
Yep. I was I was going to ask what does constitute a wholesome thought? Is that thoughts about the present moment? Is it just being
Well, that's the place to start.
yeah,
Now,
okay,
the correct answer, the full answer to that is that it's this investigation and discrimination is a skill to be developed.
sure,
So let us say that all thoughts fit into three classifications: those that we absolutely know are unwholesome,
Yep.
once we look at them.
Yep.
Then there are thoughts that we know that are absolutely going to be wholesome.
Yep.
And we can shoot for those. But there's a vast in between.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and what will happen is over time is that we'll begin to get more discriminating, and we recognize, oh, the boundary over here between I'm not sure and unwholesome thoughts is moving, so
Mm-hmm.
that the number of unwholesome thoughts becomes larger and
Yep.
the unsure thoughts become smaller.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so that but that's done with one's own discernment. So what we can do is we can make sure that we at least know the extremes,
Yep.
and you'll have to figure out that middle ground for yourself.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. And so the thoughts that are definitely going to be unwholesome would be thoughts of harming someone,
Mm-hmm.
thoughts of getting something from someone,
Yep.
plotting a crime,
Yep.
wanting to harm yourself or to harm other people. That would be definitely unwholesome.
Mm-hmm.
Thoughts of cruelty.
Yep.
Okay. Thoughts of ill will, thoughts of wanting to get even with someone.
Yes.
These would definitely be unwholesome thoughts, because when we're having those kind of thoughts, we don't feel very good. In fact, the reason we're having those thoughts is because we feel lousy about that other guy.
Yep.
So those are definitely unwholesome thoughts. Thoughts about another person, though, may not be unwholesome. Let
Mm-hmm.
us say generally the thoughts about another person is either going to be in unwholesome or in that not sure category.
Yep.
But there are a few thoughts that you can have for other people, in the sense of, may they be happy, may they be well, may they feel as good as I do right now,
Yes.
as opposed to metta practice, which has, may all beings be happy.
Yep.
But if we're saying that from an unhappy position, then we're just talking about things we don't have,
Mm-hmm.
and wanting things that we don't have is a form of suffering.
Yes.
So another way of looking at it then is that let's start looking at things that are directly, definitely, immediately available. Because if things are definitely immediately available, then we can score that immediately.
Yep.
But if you want something that's way out yonder, or way back in the past, or off into the future, then right now we're going to be disappointed and longing for that which we don't have when we're thinking about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So wholesome thoughts would be wholesome thoughts about what I want that's available right here, right now. If I
Yep.
want to pet the dog is right here, right now. And I'm
Yep.
petting her with her foot. But if the dog is not here and I want to pet the dog, then I've got to call her and she may not come. And then I get disappointed and I go searching for her wherever she is. And she's
Mm-hmm.
just sleeping.
Yeah.
She's okay, but
Yeah.
I want something.
Yes. Yep.
All right, so that's a way of
Mm-hmm.
understanding how to tell the distinction between wholesome and unwholesome.
Yeah.
Is, does it have any wanting, any longing, or any
Mm-hmm.
scores to keep, any scores to settle?
Yep.
Those are all unwholesome thoughts.
Yes.
Thoughts of scoring, thoughts of getting what you want right here, right now, and appreciating what you do have right here, right now. Those are wholesome thoughts.
Okay. Yes. Yep.
Okay, now we can change the concept from a little bit of wholesome, unwholesome into hindrances or obstructions.
Mm.
So, what are the things that are obstructing me from having a good moment right now?
Yep.
Is it because my butt hurts because I've been sitting on this chair too long? If it
Yeah.
is, then I can adjust my posture, and then right now I feel better.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
But if my butt hurts because of an argument that I had with someone yesterday, now I need to rearrange a different kind of posture.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah.
That is to arrange the mental
In
posture,
the month. Yeah. Yes.
and from unwholesome to wholesome,
Mm.
because these things actually hinder us or prevent us from enjoying this moment.
Yeah.
An example would be
Mm.
being in a hurry. Have you
Yep.
ever been in a hurry?
Oh, lots of time. Yeah.
Okay, you know
Yeah.
what it feels like to be in a hurry,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
and it's unsatisfying. That's
Mm.
why we're in a hurry, is that we want to get something done, and we're
Yeah.
racing because we want something.
Yep.
So that's one of the things to then to start being aware of in the feeling level is the feeling of being in a hurry and the thoughts that are associated with that, so that we can have other thoughts like, oh, well, I don't need that right now. I can slow down. I don't have to be uptight and anxious and in a hurry for it.
Yep.
I can just enjoy the moment
Yes.
or
Yeah.
just enjoy the ride rather than being bound for a destination.
Mm. That's a really, I think every morning I feel that. Well, the mornings I'm at home, I feel that getting the kids ready for school and having to get them ready for school in time. There's always that feeling of
Ah,
mm,
oh, so in fact, if you would hear it this way, Joel,
yep.
and that is that when you're uptight and in a hurry, you're teaching the children to be uptight and in a hurry before they even get to school.
Yeah,
So they're
absolutely.
already preconditioned to not like school because they've got to hurry up and get ready to go to school.
Mm, yeah. 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 Yeah.
So not getting in a hurry,
Yep.
even if they're late but happy, they're better off.
Yes. Yes.
Even if they're late but happy, they're
Mm,
better off. Now, most of the time, though, when they're late, they feel miserable because they're late. They
yep.
didn't match up to somebody's expectations.
Yep. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
not only that, but when mom and dad are uptight and anxious and trying to get the kids going to school, the kids will resist that
Mhm.
because they don't like being pushed.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it'll actually take you longer to get the kids ready when you're in a hurry.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes.
But if you can but if you can change your attitude about it, hey guys, it's time to go to school. Are you guys ready yet? Yeah, let's go. Okay. And so everybody's actually um enthusiastic about going to school, they'll get ready easier.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
that may be a hard habit to break for them because they're already in the habit of being grouchy about going to school.
Yep.
So get them to be enthusiastic about going to the school. That's something that you have to continue to remember because
Yes.
it's going against your own grain as well as the grain that you taught to them.
Yes. Yes.
All right. But if you can
Mm.
remember to be happy and joyful and
Yep.
to teach them to be happy and joyful. Oh, you're going to really enjoy today. I bet you're in a hurry to get to school, not in a hurry because I'm telling you you've got to be in a hurry, but you're in a hurry because you're enthusiastic and you want to get to school.
Yep. Yes. Yeah.
This is where the Dhamma comes in of great value,
Mhm.
not when we're just sitting on a cushion.
Yeah.
That
Yep.
we can actually train the mind when we're on the cushion. That's why we want to train the mind to get into the wholesome state. But here's a clear example of if you can remember, you can train the mind when you need it the most.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Yes.
That's the real training in
Mm.
is not necessarily just sitting on the floor all the time and trying to attain something there,
Yep.
but rather that you've already gotten everything that you need. Hot diggity dogs, time to go to school, kids. Let's get ready and we can have fun doing this.
Yeah. Yep.
And so that's one of the things that I'm doing with my daughter. Now, to be really honest with you, because I was a really, really old man, you know, that issue about deterioration of genes and alcoholics and whatnot like that, the
Mhm.
genes that they give the kids is often the worst case would be Down syndrome,
Yep.
mongoloid,
Yep.
uh, other things like this. And so children that are born to parents who are very old are not the sharpest knives in the drawer.
Yep.
I know that. That's why I'm training my daughter not to make good grades,
Yep.
but to enjoy school.
Enjoy school. Yeah.
And I don't care what grade she makes, as long as she's enjoying going to school.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
she's got enough other people pressuring her to make good grades. She doesn't need that from daddy.
Yep. Yep. Yes.
Dad is
Yeah.
going to recommend and tease her and have it
Mm.
joyful so that she actually enjoys going to school.
Yeah. That's such a good lesson. Yeah. Yes.
Because I know that if she enjoys going to school, she'll enjoy her life, whether she's got the kind of employment that the Western people would value.
Yep.
But I mean, there are people who have PhDs and they wind up being auto mechanics or worse,
Mm. Yeah, absolutely.
managers,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
it doesn't matter what education that you get. The question is can you enjoy your life?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
so your Dhamma can rub off on your family, and that can make it more Sangha. So your idea then of Sangha would be right there in your household, to where you're
Mm-hmm.
grateful and joyful for the people that you're living around.
Yep.
Give the wife um, all of the work and the job to do and all of that kind of stuff. And your job is to be the peacemaker. Your job is to not even making peace, is just to spread it,
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
spread the joy. And that will have a happy household. And a happy household doesn't have to be a wealthy or rich household with a great big house.
Yep. Yep. Yeah,
There's a
absolutely.
whole lot of miserable people living in great big houses they can't afford
Oh, absolutely. Yep.
because they thought the house was going to make them happy.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, I've met plenty of people, plenty of very wealthy, miserable people. Yep. Yeah.
And the funny thing is that they wanted all that stuff in order to be happy, and then they got some of the stuff that they wanted, and didn't get all of the stuff that they wanted, and so they still remain
Mm.
dissatisfied
Yeah, that's right. There's always
because they
something
base their
else.
satisfaction upon goal or keeping score.
Yeah. Yep.
And so we're changing our attitude from our joy is going to be coming from the scoring right now,
Hmm.
not the keeping of the score.
Yep. Yeah. 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 I love that.
Yeah.
Mm.
That means that when you're getting the kids ready for school, and I've actually seen it in movies, to where the dad is just uptight and all over the place and trying to get, and the kids are teasing him.
Yep.
They're actually intentionally resisting
Yes.
because he's so uptight.
Yeah. Yep. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
that's the time for you to practice the most, is when you're
Yes.
getting ready. Remember that every day. This is the time to be quite mindful. Sati, sati, wakey,
That's it.
wakey. Let's look at what we're doing and
Hmm.
make a change to it.
Yep.
And that's ānāpānasati
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah.
And so you feel that anxiety and you can feel that hurry up in there. Take a deep breath right then. Oh, everything's going to be all right. Kids are
Hmm.
going to be fine.
Yep. Yep.
And then you can take that little bit of joy you've got and give it to them, and they'll return it to you manifold.
Yes. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. Sounds perfect.
Yeah. So this is the actual practice of ānāpānasati is when we need it the most.
Mm.
And this is a good opportunity for you, is getting the kids ready for work
Yeah.
or school, or getting yourself ready for work.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, I can see that just across across so many sort of spectrums and parts of life. Yeah.
It does, right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And all
Yep.
we have to do is remember that things are okay right
Exactly.
now. Everything is fine. I
Mhm.
take a deep breath. Yeah, I'm still alive.
Mhm. Yeah. Yep.
And then with that out breath, I could just relax. And in that relaxation, that's where the nibbana lies,
Yes.
is in that chill,
Yep.
just cooling off. That's what the word means. It's just to chill, baby, just to cool off. Everything is okay. Everything's fine.
And
Kids
that's
will get to school. And if they're lucky, they'll get there happily.
yes. And that's now. That's not up the ladder. And
That's not
yeah.
up the ladder. We don't have
Yeah.
to climb up a ladder that's got missing rungs.
Yep. Yep. That's amazing. Going from the manic school morning to having nibbana in the school
Uh-huh.
morning. Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
It's beautiful.
Yes, you can remember that.
Yeah.
So let's do this. Let's finish this call now. I'll let you go for you to
Yeah.
go to work with that and practice it. And after a few days, call me back and we can mull over it and see how it went for you. I'd love to hear about it.
Yeah, I will. Yeah.
This is the practice. Just practice with your kids,
Yes.
practice with your wife, practice with your job, practice ānāpānasati whenever you remember it,
Yes.
rather than separating. It says, "Oh, I'm going to go meditate now for 20 minutes," and
Yep.
that's what I'm going to do. And then after 20 minutes, I forget all about it. Oh no, we have to remember all day long.
Yes. Yeah.
Never
Yeah.
can. Now that
Yeah.
doesn't mean that you have to remember every moment or always. This is
Mhm.
a dirty word.
Mhm.
Is every time and always, or an event happens and now a big change is made and it's always going to be that way. Oh
Yep.
no, things are always in a cycle,
Yes.
ups
Yep.
and downs. Sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't. The question is, can you remember to come back to this present moment
Yes.
without hassling yourself for having not been in the present moment?
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Yeah.
Never mind, start again.
Start
Never
again.
mind that I've been hassling the kids all morning long, or let us say
Mhm.
for the past 20 minutes. Now I remember that I can relax, and now I can be joyful with the kids and they can get themselves ready for school enthusiastically, rather than
Yeah.
because dad's uptight.
Yep. Yes. Yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, thank you so much. Thanks for this conversation. This was amazing.
Yes, Joel, I'd like it like this. This is something that's of value to you. It may be of value to other people who watch the video, but for you,
Yep.
this is
Yeah.
good,
Yeah.
useful for you.
This is beautiful. Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Well, we'll see you later.
Yeah. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.